Used to express surprise or dissatisfaction.
爱
Used to express surprise or dissatisfaction.
爱
Sighing sound indicating sadness or regret.
爱
Sighing sound indicating sadness or regret.
爱护
To take good care of.
爱护
To take good care of.
安慰
To comfort, to console.
安慰
To comfort, to console.
安装
To install, to fix.
安装
To install, to fix.
暗暗
Secretly, to oneself.
暗暗
Secretly, to oneself.
熬夜
To stay up late.
熬夜
To stay up late.
摆
To put, to place, to set in order.
摆
To put, to place, to set in order.
半夜
Midnight.
半夜
Midnight.
傍晚
Towards evening, at dusk.
傍晚
Towards evening, at dusk.
包括
To include.
包括
To include.
宝贝
Baby.
宝贝
Baby.
宝贵
Precious, valuable.
宝贵
Precious, valuable.
保存
To keep, to save.
保存
To keep, to save.
报道
To report, to cover report.
报道
To report, to cover report.
抱怨
To complain.
抱怨
To complain.
背
To carry on the back.
背
To carry on the back.
背景
Background.
背景
Background.
被子
Quilt.
被子
Quilt.
本领
Ability, capability.
本领
Ability, capability.
彼此
Each other.
彼此
Each other.
必要
Necessary, essential.
必要
Necessary, essential.
毕竟
After all, in the final analysis.
毕竟
After all, in the final analysis.
避免
To prevent, to avoid.
避免
To prevent, to avoid.
鞭炮
Firecrackers.
鞭炮
Firecrackers.
电
Used to indicate that something comes naturally under certain conditions or circumstances.
电
Used to indicate that something comes naturally under certain conditions or circumstances.
辩论
To debate.
辩论
To debate.
表达
To express, to voice.
表达
To express, to voice.
表面
Surface.
表面
surface.
表明，
To indicate, to manifest.
表明，
To indicate, to manifest.
表情，
Facial, expression.
表情，
Facial, expression.
表现，
To show, to display manifestation.
表现，
To show, to display manifestation.
播放，
To broadcast, to play, music or videos.
播放，
To broadcast, to play, music or videos.
脖子，
Neck,
脖子，
neck.
不耐烦，
Impatient,
不耐烦，
impatient.
不要紧，
It doesn't matter.
不要紧，
It doesn't matter.
不得了，
Extremely, exceedingly.
不得了，
Extremely, exceedingly.
不行，
Indicating degree, intensity, etc., terribly, extremely.
不行，
Indicating degree, intensity, etc., terribly, extremely.
不足，
Insufficient to be less than.
不足，
Insufficient to be less than.
不，
Cloth,
不，
cloth.
财产，
Property, fortune.
财产，
Property, fortune.
采取，
To take, to adopt.
采取，
To take, to adopt.
采用，
To use, to employ.
采用，
To use, to employ.
彩虹，
Rainbow,
彩虹，
rainbow.
踩，
To step on, to tread on.
踩，
To step on, to tread on.
参与，
To take part in.
参与，
To take part in.
惭愧，
Ashamed,
惭愧，
ashamed.
躲藏，
To hide,
躲藏，
to hide.
操场，
Sports ground, playground.
操场，
Sports ground, playground.
曾经，
Once, in the past.
曾经，
Once, in the past.
差距，
Gap, difference.
差距，
Gap, difference.
差异，
Difference,
差异，
difference.
插，
To insert, to stick in.
插，
To insert, to stick in.
产品，
Product, produce.
产品，
Product, produce.
产生，
To emerge, to arise.
产生，
To emerge, to arise.
长途，
Long distance,
长途，
long distance.
吵，
To make a noise, noisy.
吵，
To make a noise, noisy.
吵架，
To quarrel.
吵架。
To quarrel.
称。
To call, to give as be a particular name, to weigh.
称。
To call, to give as be a particular name, to weigh.
成果。
Result, achievement.
成果。
Result, achievement.
成就。
Achievement, accomplishment.
成就。
Achievement, accomplishment.
成熟。
To ripen, mature.
成熟。
To ripen, mature.
成语。
Idiom, set phrase.
成语。
Idiom, set phrase.
诚恳。
Sincere, earnest.
诚恳。
Sincere, earnest.
程度。
Degree, level.
程度。
Degree, level.
吃亏。
To suffer losses.
吃亏。
To suffer losses.
迟早。
Sooner or later.
迟早。
Sooner or later.
持续。
To continue, to last.
持续。
To continue, to last.
冲。
To rush, to dash.
冲。
To rush, to dash.
充分。
Ample, sufficient.
充分。
Ample, sufficient.
充满。
To be full of.
充满。
To be full of.
重复。
To repeat.
重复。
To repeat.
宠物。
Pet.
宠物。
Pet.
抽象。
Abstract, to draw a correct conclusion from objective facts.
抽象。
Abstract, to draw a correct conclusion from objective facts.
丑陋。
Ugly.
丑陋。
Ugly.
出自。
To come from, to stem from.
出自。
To come from, to stem from.
除。
To get rid of, to remove.
除。
To get rid of, to remove.
除夕。
Eve of the Lunar New Year, Spring Festival.
除夕。
Eve of the Lunar New Year, Spring Festival.
传说。
Legend.
传说。
Legend.
传统。
Tradition, traditional.
传统。
Tradition, traditional.
窗帘。
Curtain.
窗帘。
Curtain.
创造。
To create, to produce.
创造。
To create, to produce.
词汇。
Vocabulary.
词汇。
Vocabulary.
辞职。
To quit a job.
辞职。
To quit a job.
此外。
In addition, moreover.
此外。
In addition, moreover.
从而。
Thus, consequently.
从而。
Thus, consequently.
从前，
Before, in the past.
从前，
Before, in the past.
催，
To urge, to push.
催，
To urge, to push.
存在，
To exist.
存在，
To exist.
措施，
Measure, step.
措施，
Measure, step.
达到，
To reach, to attain.
达到，
To reach, to attain.
打工，
To work for others, to do a temporary job.
打工，
To work for others, to do a temporary job.
打交道，
To make contact with.
打交道，
To make contact with.
打听，
To inquire about.
打听，
To inquire about.
大方，
Generous.
大方，
Generous.
呆，
Dull, dumb, to stagnate.
呆，
Dull, dumb, to stagnate.
代表，
Typical case, to represent.
代表，
Typical case, to represent.
待遇，
Pay and perks.
待遇，
Pay and perks.
胆小鬼，
Coward.
胆小鬼，
Coward.
当地，
Local, in the locality.
当地，
Local, in the locality.
挡，
To block, to get in the way of.
挡，
To block, to get in the way of.
导演，
Director, of a show or movie, to direct.
导演，
Director, of a show or movie, to direct.
导致，
To cause, to lead to.
导致，
To cause, to lead to.
导，
Indicating being contrary to what is expected or thought.
导，
Indicating being contrary to what is expected or thought.
道理，
Principle, theory.
道理，
Principle, theory.
等待，
To wait.
等待，
To wait.
等于，
To be equal to.
等于，
To be equal to.
低落，
Down, depressed.
低落，
Down, depressed.
敌人，
Enemy.
敌人，
Enemy.
地道，
True, genuine.
地道，
True, genuine.
地区，
Area, region.
地区，
Area, region.
地位，
Position, status.
地位，
Position, status.
地，
To hand over, to pass.
地，
To hand over, to pass.
点心，
Dessert, dim sum.
点心，
Dessert, dim sum.
电台，
Radio station.
电台，
Radio station.
钓
To fish with a hook and line.
钓
To fish with a hook and line.
顶
To go against, to move towards.
顶
To go against, to move towards.
冻
To freeze, to feel very cold.
冻
To freeze, to feel very cold.
冻
Hole.
冻
Hole.
逗
To amuse, to tease.
逗
To amuse, to tease.
独立
To be on one's own.
独立
To be on one's own.
独特
Unique, distinctive.
独特
Unique, distinctive.
度过
To pass, to spend.
度过
To pass, to spend.
断
To cut off, to stop.
断
To cut off, to stop.
断断续续
Off and on, intermittent.
断断续续
Off and on, intermittent.
对比
To compare, to contrast.
对比
To compare, to contrast.
对方
The other side, the other party.
对方
The other side, the other party.
蹲
To squat, to crouch.
蹲
To squat, to crouch.
顿
Used for meals.
顿
Used for meals.
多亏
Luckily, thanks to.
多亏
Luckily, thanks to.
发愁
To worry.
发愁
To worry.
发达
Developed, advanced.
发达
Developed, advanced.
反而
On the contrary, instead.
反而
On the contrary, instead.
反应
To react, response.
反应
To react, response.
反应
To reflect, to mirror.
反应
To reflect, to mirror.
方
Square.
方
Square.
方案
Plan, scheme.
方案
Plan, scheme.
方式
Way, method.
方式
Way, method.
仿佛
As if, to be like, to be similar to.
仿佛
As if, to be like, to be similar to.
非
To be not.
非
To be not.
分别
Respectively, separately.
分别
Respectively, separately.
分布
To be distributed, over an area, to be scattered.
分布
To be distributed, over an area, to be scattered.
分析
To analyze.
分析
To analyze.
纷纷
One after another, all at once.
纷纷，
One after another, all at once.
风俗，
Custom, convention.
风俗，
Custom, convention.
疯，
To be crazy, to go mad.
疯，
To be crazy, to go mad.
讽刺，
To satirize.
讽刺，
To satirize.
扶，
To support with one's hand.
扶，
To support with one's hand.
服装，
Clothing, costume.
服装，
Clothing, costume.
符，
Used for paintings and scrolls, etc.
符，
Used for paintings and scrolls, etc.
改进，
To improve, to ameliorate.
改进，
To improve, to ameliorate.
赶紧，
Immediately, at once.
赶紧，
Immediately, at once.
感激，
To feel grateful.
感激，
To feel grateful.
感受，
To feel, feeling.
感受，
To feel, feeling.
干活儿，
To work.
干活儿，
To work.
高档，
High grade, top notch.
高档，
High grade, top notch.
高级，
Senior, high ranking.
高级，
Senior, high ranking.
告别，
To say goodbye.
告别，
To say goodbye.
格外，
Especially, extraordinarily.
格外，
Especially, extraordinarily.
个别，
One or two, exceptional.
个别，
One or two, exceptional.
个人，
Individual.
个人，
Individual.
各自，
Each, respective.
各自，
Each, respective.
跟，
Long thin piece, a measure word for long and thin objects.
跟，
Long thin piece, a measure word for long and thin objects.
工程师，
Engineer.
工程师，
Engineer.
工具，
Tool, instrument.
工具，
Tool, instrument.
工人，
Worker.
工人，
Worker.
公园，
Christian era.
公园，
Christian era.
功能，
Function.
功能，
Function.
姑姑，
Aunt, father's sister.
姑姑，
Aunt, father's sister.
姑娘，
Girl.
姑娘，
Girl.
古代，
Ancient times.
古代，
Ancient times.
古典，
Classical.
古典，
Classical.
骨头，
Bone.
骨头，
bone.
固定，
Fixed, settled, to fix.
固定，
Fixed, settled, to fix.
关闭，
To close, to shut.
关闭，
To close, to shut.
关，
Government official.
关，
Government official.
光临，
To visit, to frequent.
光临，
To visit, to frequent.
光线，
Light, ray.
光线，
Light, ray.
广大，
Vast, extensive.
广大，
Vast, extensive.
广泛，
Wide, extensive.
广泛，
Wide, extensive.
规律，
Law, regular pattern, regular.
规律，
Law, regular pattern, regular.
规则，
Regular, rule.
规则，
Regular, rule.
锅，
Pot, pan.
锅，
Pot, pan.
果然，
As expected, really.
果然，
As expected, really.
果实，
Fruit.
果实，
Fruit.
哈，
Sound of laughter indicating complacency or satisfaction.
哈，
Sound of laughter indicating complacency or satisfaction.
海鲜，
Seafood.
海鲜，
Seafood.
喊，
To shout, to call.
喊，
To shout, to call.
豪华，
Luxurious, lavish.
豪华，
Luxurious, lavish.
好客，
To be hospitable.
好客，
To be hospitable.
好奇，
Curious.
好奇，
Curious.
合作，
To cooperate, to work together.
合作，
To cooperate, to work together.
何必，
Why, indicating there is no need for something.
何必，
Why, indicating there is no need for something.
何况，
Let alone.
何况，
Let alone.
恨，
To hate.
恨，
To hate.
猴子，
Monkey.
猴子，
Monkey.
后背，
Back, of the human body.
后背，
Back, of the human body.
呼朋唤友，
To invite friends, to have friends gather together.
呼朋唤友，
To invite friends, to have friends gather together.
呼吸，
To breathe.
呼吸，
To breathe.
忽然，
Suddenly.
忽然，
Suddenly.
忽视，
To ignore, to overlook.
忽视，
To ignore, to overlook.
胡说，
To talk nonsense.
胡说，
To talk nonsense.
胡同，
Alley, lane.
胡同，
Alley, lane.
胡，
Pot, kettle.
胡，
Pot, kettle.
糊涂，
Muddle-headed.
糊涂，
Muddle-headed.
华裔，
Foreign citizen of Chinese origin.
华裔，
Foreign citizen of Chinese origin.
滑，
Slippery, to slip, to slide.
滑，
Slippery, to slip, to slide.
话题，
Topic,
话题，
topic.
慌张，
Flurried, flustered.
慌张，
Flurried, flustered.
灰尘，
Dust, dirt.
灰尘，
Dust, dirt.
灰，
To wave, to wield.
灰，
To wave, to wield.
婚礼，
Wedding,
婚礼，
wedding.
婚姻，
Marriage,
婚姻，
marriage.
活跃，
Active, dynamic, to activate.
活跃，
Active, dynamic, to activate.
伙伴，
Partner,
伙伴，
partner.
或许，
Maybe, perhaps.
或许，
Maybe, perhaps.
击，
To hit, to strike.
击，
To hit, to strike.
机器，
Machine,
机器，
machine.
激烈，
Intense, fierce.
激烈，
Intense, fierce.
极其，
Extremely,
极其，
extremely.
极，
To be, namely.
极，
To be, namely.
集中，
To concentrate, to focus, concentrated.
集中，
To concentrate, to focus, concentrated.
计算，
To calculate, to compute.
计算，
To calculate, to compute.
记忆，
To remember, memory.
记忆，
To remember, memory.
纪念，
To commemorate.
纪念，
To commemorate.
系，
To tie, to fasten.
系，
To tie, to fasten.
家庭，
Family,
家庭，
family.
家，
First,
家，
first.
驾驶，
To drive, to pilot.
驾驶，
To drive, to pilot.
坚决，
Resolute, determined.
坚决，
Resolute, determined.
肩膀，
Shoulder,
肩膀，
shoulder.
艰苦，
arduous, difficult, tough.
艰苦、
arduous, difficult, tough.
建筑、
building, architecture.
建筑、
building, architecture.
讲究、
to be particular about, to stress, exquisite.
讲究、
to be particular about, to stress, exquisite.
交际、
social contact, communication.
交际、
social contact, communication.
角度、
angle, degree of angle.
角度、
angle, degree of angle.
结实、
strong, sturdy.
结实、
strong, sturdy.
接待、
to receive, sb, to entertain.
接待、
to receive, sb, to entertain.
节省、
to save, to economize.
节省、
to save, to economize.
节食、
to go on a diet.
节食、
to go on a diet.
结构、
structure,
结构、
structure.
结论、
conclusion,
结论、
conclusion.
戒、
to give up, to quit.
戒、
to give up, to quit.
借口、
excuse, pretext, to use as an excuse.
借口、
excuse, pretext, to use as an excuse.
金属、
metal,
金属、
metal.
尽力、
to try one's best.
尽力、
to try one's best.
近代、
modern times, mid-19th century to 1919 in Chinese history.
近代、
modern times, mid-19th century to 1919 in Chinese history.
经营、
to manage, to run.
经营、
to manage, to run.
精神、
spirit, vigor, lively, vigorous.
精神、
spirit, vigor, lively, vigorous.
救、
to save, to rescue.
救、
to save, to rescue.
舅舅、
uncle, mother's brother.
舅舅、
uncle, mother's brother.
居然、
indicating unexpectedness.
居然、
indicating unexpectedness.
具备、
to have, to possess.
具备、
to have, to possess.
决心、
to make up one's mind, determination.
决心、
to make up one's mind, determination.
绝对、
absolute, absolutely, definitely.
绝对、
absolute, absolutely, definitely.
军事、
military affairs.
军事、
military affairs.
开发、
to develop, to exploit.
开发、
to develop, to exploit.
开幕式、
opening ceremony.
开幕式、
Opening ceremony.
靠
To lean against.
靠
To lean against.
科
Used for things small and roundish.
科
Used for things small and roundish.
可见
It can be seen that.
可见
It can be seen that.
可靠
Reliable, dependable.
可靠
Reliable, dependable.
空间
Space.
空间
Space.
啦
Combination of lu and a, expressing exclamation, interrogation, etc.
啦
Combination of lu and a, expressing exclamation, interrogation, etc.
拦
To block, to hold back.
拦
To block, to hold back.
烂
Bad, lame.
烂
Bad, lame.
劳动
Work, labor, to work, to do physical labor.
劳动
Work, labor, to work, to do physical labor.
老百姓
Ordinary people, civilians.
老百姓
Ordinary people, civilians.
老婆
Wife.
老婆
Wife.
老实
Honest, frank.
老实
Honest, frank.
姥姥
Maternal grandma.
姥姥
Maternal grandma.
雷
Thunder.
雷
Thunder.
类型
Type, category.
类型
Type, category.
离婚
To divorce.
离婚
To divorce.
理论
Theory.
理论
Theory.
立即
Immediately, at once.
立即
Immediately, at once.
立刻
At once, immediately.
立刻
At once, immediately.
连忙
Promptly, at once.
连忙
Promptly, at once.
连续
To be continuous, to be in succession.
连续
To be continuous, to be in succession.
联合
To unite, to ally, joint, combined.
联合
To unite, to ally, joint, combined.
良好
Good, fine.
良好
Good, fine.
粮食
Grain, cereal, food.
粮食
Grain, cereal, food.
亮
Bright, to shine.
亮
Bright, to shine.
临
About to, just before.
临
About to, just before.
临时
For a short time, temporary.
临时
For a short time, temporary.
灵活
Flexible, elastic.
灵活
flexible, elastic.
铃
Bell,
铃
bell.
领导
Leader,
领导
leader.
令
To make, to cause.
令
To make, to cause.
流传
To spread, to hand down.
流传
To spread, to hand down.
流泪
To shed tears.
流泪
To shed tears.
龙
Dragon,
龙
dragon.
漏
Of a container, to leak.
漏
Of a container, to leak.
陆地
Land,
陆地
land.
轮
To take turns.
轮
To take turns.
轮流
To take turns.
轮流
To take turns.
骂
To curse, to call names.
骂
To curse, to call names.
馒头
Steamed bun,
馒头
steamed bun.
满足
To be satisfied.
满足
To be satisfied.
毛病
Shortcoming, weakness.
毛病
Shortcoming, weakness.
矛盾
Conflict, conflicting.
矛盾
Conflict, conflicting.
美术
Fine art,
美术
fine art.
魅力
Charm,
魅力
charm.
苗条
Slim, slender.
苗条
Slim, slender.
描写
To describe, to depict.
描写
To describe, to depict.
明明
Evidently, undoubtedly.
明明
Evidently, undoubtedly.
明显
Obvious, apparent.
明显
Obvious, apparent.
明星
Star, celebrity.
明星
Star, celebrity.
命令
To command, order.
命令
To command, order.
摸
To touch, to feel, to stroke.
摸
To touch, to feel, to stroke.
模仿
To imitate, to model on.
模仿
To imitate, to model on.
目前
Now, present.
目前
Now, present.
哪怕
Even if.
哪怕
Even if.
脑袋
Head,
脑袋
head.
闹钟
Alarm clock,
闹钟
alarm clock.
宁可
Would rather,
宁可
would rather.
农村
Countryside.
农村
Countryside.
农民
Farmer peasant.
农民
Farmer peasant.
农
Strong deep.
农
Strong deep.
女士
Lady madam.
女士
Lady madam.
拍
To take a photo, to shoot a video.
拍
To take a photo, to shoot a video.
派
To send, to assign, to appoint.
派
To send, to assign, to appoint.
派
Faction, school, group of people sharing identical ideas, style, or tastes.
派
Faction, school, group of people sharing identical ideas, style, or tastes.
盼望
To look forward to.
盼望
To look forward to.
盆子
Basin tub.
盆子
Basin tub.
碰
To meet, to come across.
碰
To meet, to come across.
皮
Used for horses.
皮
Used for horses.
片面
One-sided.
片面
One-sided.
飘
To float, in the air, to waft.
飘
To float, in the air, to waft.
平
Flat, level.
平
Flat, level.
平常
Common, ordinary, mediocrity.
平常
Common, ordinary, mediocrity.
平静
Quiet, peaceful.
平静
Quiet, peaceful.
平均
Average.
平均
Average.
评价
To evaluate, evaluation, comment.
评价
To evaluate, evaluation, comment.
其余
The rest, the others.
其余
The rest, the others.
奇迹
Miracle, wonder.
奇迹
Miracle, wonder.
企业
Enterprise, company.
企业
Enterprise, company.
启发
To enlighten, to inspire.
启发
To enlighten, to inspire.
气氛
Atmosphere.
气氛
Atmosphere.
签
To sign, to autograph.
签
To sign, to autograph.
钱
Shallow, light.
钱
Shallow, light.
强烈
Strong and vehement.
强烈
Strong and vehement.
墙
Wall.
墙
Wall.
墙
To rob, to snatch.
墙
To rob, to snatch.
悄悄
Quietly, secretly.
悄悄
Quietly, secretly.
瞧
To look, to see.
瞧，
To look, to see.
亲切，
Warm, cordial, affectionate.
亲切，
Warm, cordial, affectionate.
亲自，
Personally, in person.
亲自，
Personally, in person.
勤奋，
Diligent.
勤奋，
Diligent.
轻视，
To look down upon, to belittle.
轻视，
To look down upon, to belittle.
情景，
Scene, sight.
情景，
Scene, sight.
情绪，
Emotion, mood.
情绪，
Emotion, mood.
请求，
To request, to ask, request.
请求，
To request, to ask, request.
球迷，
Ball game fan.
球迷，
Ball game fan.
趋势，
Trend, tendency.
趋势，
Trend, tendency.
去世，
To die, to pass away.
去世，
To die, to pass away.
缺乏，
To lack, to be short of.
缺乏，
To lack, to be short of.
确定，
To confirm, to make sure.
确定，
To confirm, to make sure.
确认，
To confirm, to affirm.
确认，
To confirm, to affirm.
群，
Group, herd, flock.
群，
Group, herd, flock.
人才，
Talented person.
人才，
Talented person.
人类，
Humankind.
人类，
Humankind.
人民，
People.
人民，
People.
人生，
Life.
人生，
Life.
人员，
Personnel, staff.
人员，
Personnel, staff.
日常，
Day-to-day, daily.
日常，
Day-to-day, daily.
日子，
Life, livelihood.
日子，
Life, livelihood.
如何，
How.
如何，
How.
如今，
Nowadays, present.
如今，
Nowadays, present.
弱，
Weak.
弱，
Weak.
撒，
To sprinkle, to spray.
撒，
To sprinkle, to spray.
杀，
To kill.
杀，
To kill.
晒，
To dry in the sun.
晒，
To dry in the sun.
闪电，
Lightning.
闪电，
Lightning.
扇子，
Fan.
扇子，
Fan.
善良，
Kind-hearted.
善良，
Kind-hearted.
善于，
To be good at.
善于，
To be good at.
伤害，
To hurt, to harm.
伤害，
To hurt, to harm.
上当，
To be taken in, to be deceived.
上当，
To be taken in, to be deceived.
设计，
To design, design.
设计，
To design, design.
射击，
To shoot.
射击，
To shoot.
摄影师，
Photographer.
摄影师，
Photographer.
伸，
To stretch, to extend.
伸，
To stretch, to extend.
身份，
Identity.
身份，
Identity.
深刻，
Deep, profound.
深刻，
Deep, profound.
神秘，
Mystical, mysterious.
神秘，
Mystical, mysterious.
升，
To rise, to go up.
升，
To rise, to go up.
绳子，
Rope.
绳子，
Rope.
胜利，
To win a victory.
胜利，
To win a victory.
失眠，
To suffer from insomnia.
失眠，
To suffer from insomnia.
诗，
Poem.
诗，
Poem.
石头，
Stone, rock.
石头，
Stone, rock.
时代，
Era, age, epoch.
时代，
Era, age, epoch.
时刻，
Moment.
时刻，
Moment.
时期，
Period, stage.
时期，
Period, stage.
时尚，
Fashion.
时尚，
Fashion.
实现，
To realize, to achieve.
实现，
To realize, to achieve.
实验，
To make an experiment, experiment.
实验，
To make an experiment, experiment.
食物，
Food.
食物，
Food.
始终，
From the beginning to the end, all along.
始终，
From the beginning to the end, all along.
士兵，
Soldier.
士兵，
Soldier.
市场，
Market.
市场，
Market.
是的，
Like as.
是的，
Like as.
事实，
Fact.
事实，
Fact.
事物，
Thing, object.
事物，
Thing, object.
手指，
Finger.
手指，
Finger.
守岁，
To stay up late or all night on New Year's Eve.
守岁。
To stay up late or all night on New Year's Eve.
手
Head first.
手
Head first.
舒适
Comfortable.
舒适
Comfortable.
蔬菜
Vegetable.
蔬菜
Vegetable.
数
Several.
数
Several.
甩
To throw off, to swing.
甩
To throw off, to swing.
说不定
Perhaps, possibly, it's likely that.
说不定
Perhaps, possibly, it's likely that.
说服
To persuade, to convince.
说服
To persuade, to convince.
似乎
It seems that, seemingly.
似乎
It seems that, seemingly.
算
To regard as, to count as.
算
To regard as, to count as.
随时
At any time.
随时
At any time.
随手
Randomly, without extra trouble.
随手
Randomly, without extra trouble.
碎
To break into pieces, broken, fragmentary.
碎
To break into pieces, broken, fragmentary.
锁
Used before a verb followed by a noun which is the receiver of the action.
锁
Used before a verb followed by a noun which is the receiver of the action.
所谓
So-called.
所谓
So-called.
锁
Lock, to lock up.
锁
Lock, to lock up.
台阶
Flight of steps.
台阶
Flight of steps.
太太
Wife.
太太
Wife.
逃
To escape.
逃
To escape.
逃
Peach.
逃
Peach.
淘气
Naughty, mischievous.
淘气
Naughty, mischievous.
套
Set, sweet.
套
Set, sweet.
体会
To learn from experience, to realize, feeling.
体会
To learn from experience, to realize, feeling.
替
For, on behalf of.
替
For, on behalf of.
天真
Naive, innocent.
天真
Naive, innocent.
调皮
Naughty, mischievous.
调皮
Naughty, mischievous.
调整
To adjust, to revise, adjustment.
调整
To adjust, to revise, adjustment.
挑战
To challenge, to battle, challenge.
挑战
To challenge, to battle, challenge.
通常
Usually.
通常
Usually.
投篮
To shoot, a basket.
投篮，
To shoot, a basket.
投入，
To put into, to spend on, input, devoted.
投入，
To put into, to spend on, input, devoted.
突出，
Prominent, salient.
突出，
Prominent, salient.
推广，
To popularize, to spread.
推广，
To popularize, to spread.
推荐，
To recommend.
推荐，
To recommend.
外公，
Maternal grandfather.
外公，
Maternal grandfather.
完整，
Complete.
完整，
Complete.
危害，
To harm, to jeopardize.
危害，
To harm, to jeopardize.
微笑，
To smile, smile.
微笑，
To smile, smile.
为，
To become.
为，
To become.
为，
By, SB.
为，
By, SB.
围绕，
To center around.
围绕，
To center around.
尾巴，
Tail.
尾巴，
Tail.
委屈，
To do, SB, wrong, feeling wronged.
委屈，
To do, SB, wrong, feeling wronged.
未来，
Future.
未来，
Future.
消费，
To consume.
消费，
To consume.
销售，
To sell, to market.
销售，
To sell, to market.
孝顺，
To show filial piety, obedient and respectful to one's parents.
孝顺，
To show filial piety, obedient and respectful to one's parents.
斜，
Oblique, slanting.
斜，
Oblique, slanting.
写作，
To write.
写作，
To write.
心理，
Mentality, psychology.
心理，
Mentality, psychology.
欣赏，
To enjoy, to admire.
欣赏，
To enjoy, to admire.
行为，
Behavior.
行为，
Behavior.
形成，
To form, to take shape.
形成，
To form, to take shape.
形容，
To describe, to depict.
形容，
To describe, to depict.
形式，
Form mode.
形式，
Form mode.
形式，
Situation, state of affairs.
形式，
Situation, state of affairs.
形象，
Vivid.
形象，
Vivid.
形状，
Shape.
形状，
Shape.
兄弟，
Brother.
兄弟，
Brother.
叙述，
To narrate.
叙述，
To narrate.
宣传，
To publicize, to promote.
宣传，
To publicize, to promote.
学问，
Knowledge learning.
学问，
Knowledge learning.
寻找，
To look for, to seek.
寻找，
To look for, to seek.
询问，
To ask, to inquire.
询问，
To ask, to inquire.
训练，
To train.
训练，
To train.
迅速，
Quick, rapid.
迅速，
Quick, rapid.
牙齿，
Tooth.
牙齿，
Tooth.
样式，
Style pattern.
样式，
Style pattern.
摇，
To wave, to shake.
摇，
To wave, to shake.
摇，
To bite.
摇，
To bite.
要不，
Otherwise or else.
要不，
Otherwise or else.
业务，
Professional work, business.
业务，
Professional work, business.
业余，
Amateur.
业余，
Amateur.
夜，
Night.
夜，
Night.
依然，
Still nonetheless.
依然，
Still nonetheless.
一辈子，
All one's life.
一辈子，
All one's life.
一再，
Over and over again.
一再，
Over and over again.
移动，
To move, mobile.
移动，
To move, mobile.
移民，
Immigrant.
移民，
Immigrant.
移，
Second.
移，
Second.
移，
In order to, so as to.
移，
In order to, so as to.
以及，
And also as well.
以及，
And also as well.
以来，
Since.
以来，
Since.
亿，
100 million.
亿，
100 million.
意外，
Unexpected accident.
意外，
Unexpected accident.
意义，
Meaning, significance.
意义，
Meaning, significance.
year,
Therefore thus.
year,
Therefore thus.
银，
Silver.
银，
Silver.
英俊，
Handsome.
英俊，
Handsome.
英雄，
Hero.
英雄，
Hero.
营养，
Nutrition.
营养，
Nutrition.
影子，
Shadow.
影子，
Shadow.
应用，
Application to apply.
应用，
Application to apply.
硬，
Hard, tough.
硬，
Hard, tough.
拥抱，
To hug, to embrace.
拥抱，
To hug, to embrace.
用途，
Use, purpose.
用途，
Use, purpose.
优美，
Graceful, beautiful.
优美，
Graceful, beautiful.
悠久，
Long-standing, age-old.
悠久，
Long-standing, age-old.
幼儿园，
Kindergarten.
幼儿园，
Kindergarten.
鱼，
From, out of.
鱼，
From, out of.
愿望，
Wish, hope.
愿望，
Wish, hope.
晕，
To faint, to pass out.
晕，
To faint, to pass out.
运用，
To put into practice, to apply.
运用，
To put into practice, to apply.
灾害，
Disaster, calamity.
灾害，
Disaster, calamity.
再三，
Again and again.
再三，
Again and again.
赞美，
To praise, to extol.
赞美，
To praise, to extol.
糟糕，
Bad, awful.
糟糕，
Bad, awful.
造成，
To cause, to give rise to.
造成，
To cause, to give rise to.
则，
Used for news or writings, piece, indicating contrast, while.
则，
Used for news or writings, piece, indicating contrast, while.
占，
To occupy, to take, to hold, to make up.
占，
To occupy, to take, to hold, to make up.
战争，
War.
战争，
War.
长辈，
Senior member of a family.
长辈，
Senior member of a family.
招待，
To receive, to entertain.
招待，
To receive, to entertain.
着火，
To catch fire.
着火，
To catch fire.
召开，
To hold, a meeting, to convene.
召开，
To hold, a meeting, to convene.
针对，
To be targeted at.
针对，
To be targeted at.
震，
Measure word, a short period or spell of an occurrence or action.
震，
Measure word, a short period or spell of an occurrence or action.
争论，
To argue, to dispute.
争论，
To argue, to dispute.
争取，
To strive for, to endeavor to.
争取，
To strive for, to endeavor to.
整个，
Whole, entire.
整个，
Whole, entire.
整体，
Whole, entirety.
整体，
Whole, entirety.
证据，
Proof, evidence.
证据，
Proof, evidence.
证，
To earn.
证，
To earn.
之，
Measure word, for long, thin, inflexible objects.
之，
Measure word, for long, thin, inflexible objects.
至今，
Up to now.
至今，
Up to now.
志愿者，
Volunteer.
志愿者，
Volunteer.
制造，
To make, to produce.
制造，
To make, to produce.
治疗，
To treat, to cure.
治疗，
To treat, to cure.
智慧，
Wisdom.
智慧，
Wisdom.
中心，
Center.
中心，
Center.
重大，
Great, significant.
重大，
Great, significant.
猪，
Pig.
猪，
Pig.
竹子，
Bamboo.
竹子，
Bamboo.
逐渐，
Gradually.
逐渐，
Gradually.
主持，
To host, to preside over host hostess.
主持，
To host, to preside over host hostess.
主动，
On one's own initiative.
主动，
On one's own initiative.
主人，
Master, owner.
主人，
Master, owner.
注册，
To register.
注册，
To register.
专家，
Expert.
专家，
Expert.
装，
To load, to hold.
装，
To load, to hold.
装修，
To decorate, a house, room, etc.
装修，
To decorate, a house, room, etc.
状态，
State, status.
状态，
State, status.
撞，
To bump against.
撞，
To bump against.
追，
To chase, to go after.
追，
To chase, to go after.
姿势，
Pose, posture.
姿势，
Pose, posture.
资格，
Qualification.
资格，
Qualification.
资料，
Data, material.
资料，
Data, material.
自杀，
To commit suicide.
自杀，
To commit suicide.
自由，
Freedom free.
自由，
freedom free,
综合，
to synthesize, to summarize comprehensive, integrated,
综合，
to synthesize, to summarize comprehensive, integrated,
总裁，
president of a company,
总裁，
president of a company,
总共，
altogether, in total,
总共，
altogether, in total,
阻止，
to stop, to prevent,
阻止，
to stop, to prevent,
组，
group, team, set,
组，
group, team, set,
组成，
to form, to constitute,
组成，
to form, to constitute,
组合，
to combine combination,
组合，
to combine combination,
醉，
to be drunk,
醉，
to be drunk,
作品，
work, of art or literature,
作品，
work, of art or literature,
作为，
to be as, being,
作为，
to be as, being,
作战，
to fight a battle,
作战，
to fight a battle,